Well, we want to welcome you to the Discover class here at the Potter's House Family Worship Center. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time on this video just to share with you some of the history of the Potter's House. My wife Carla and I came to Mount Pleasant back in 1986 to plant a church. God had spoken a word to me 3 years before that He would send us here to build a church. And we came and began, our first service was July 23rd, 1986 out at Union Township Hall. First service we had 30 people there, 10 of them were our family members. 10 were people from the community, then we had 10 from the church in the Saginaw area that had sent us here to plant the Potter's House. Had a young lady saved that day that today is still serving the Lord. Our passion when we came was to touch people with God's love and reveal the love of Jesus. So we're at the Township Hall for about 4 months, and then we moved to a vacated church building on Pickard that's now Dan the Mattress Man. We were there about 4.5 years, and we outgrew that facility and had purchased the property that the Potter's House is on today, but we weren't ready yet to build. So we moved to the high school thinking we'd be there for about 6 months. We were there 3.5 years before we ended up building a structure out here. And that was a pretty miraculous story, because after we had bought the property here, it's 23 acres, we were unable to get the property to perk, which there wasn't enough sand on the property to do a drain field. And Pastor Carla had a vision from the Lord and saw a hand lay sand right into the field here. And she said, "Ron, we need to go out with the backhoe again and dig again." And she shared where the area was. We went out there with the backhoe, and guess what? There was sand there, and we were able to put a drain field in and begin the structure. It was a wonderful journey there. The church was growing numerically. We were growing as a family together in our commitment. And we were thinking of borrowing money to build the building when we started. And one of the sisters in one of our body meetings stood up and said, "Have we ever thought about building debt-free?" It had never entered our mind. And so as a leadership team, we went back before the Lord, and we heard the Lord say, "Build it debt-free." So at that point, we hadn't even been able to pay off the property, but the moment we made the commitment to build it debt-free, God began to funnel finances through. We paid off the property, got the first amount, which was about $65,000 to put the beginning shell up, and then just as we had cash, we would build. There came a point in the journey where we began to, you could feel the body, we were tiring, we were all sacrificing our finances to see the work of God go forward. And God sent a man in from another city, came into one service, and after that point began to send $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And over the next year and a half, he sent $180,000 to help us complete the facility to be able to get into it. So just want you to know that the hand of God has been on this work, and we're excited about where we're going now, what God is doing, and where God's going to lead us into the future. We're excited about you maybe considering being a part with us. How do we get the name the Potter's House? Well, it came from 3 portions of Scripture. The first was in Isaiah 64:8, where it says, "God's the potter and we're the clay." As Carla and I came, our heart was to see God shape and form people, conforming us to the image of Jesus, because that's our goal in life, is to be like Jesus. And then another Scripture is Jeremiah 18:1-6. It says, "Go to the Potter's house and hear my word." And again, talking about God shaping us through Scripture. Then the third Scripture is in Matthew 27, and it's verse 3. It's where Judas Iscariot had sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. And it says that after the priests got that money, they went and they purchased a potter's field. And the potter's field was where they threw vessels that were useless, vessels that had been cracked, vessels people said would no longer, could amount to anything, could be useful. And what Jesus was sold for, purchased that potter's field. And Carla and I, our heart was, both of us coming out of brokenness ourselves, was to come and see vessels others had given up on, and to see the love of God and the hands of God reshape those vessels and make them vessels of honor. And so that's where we got our motto at that time, was touching hurting people with the love of Jesus. So we're excited. We're continuing to stay in that passion. We want to see people touched with God's love and see the Father shape and form vessels of honor that will bring glory to Him. So that's a little bit of our history. Kind of where are we going? We have a 2020 vision. In the 2020 vision, our passion is we're going to develop the land some more here, the property for ministry, because it's all about people. It's not about buildings. We're going to build a multi-purpose building. We're going to call it the Family Center, have a gymnasium within it. It will also have other areas where people can be ministered to. We'll also run our storehouse food pantry there. We give out tons of food every year, and we want to have a place that's big enough to house that. And what we're doing there, we're going to put flags around the property because we have a passion for missions. We want to see the nations. We want to disciple nations and be engaged in God's plan for the nations in the world. So a lot of great things ahead for Potter's House. We're excited about you considering being a part. Hope you have a great day.